Good day to all people. This is my autobiography, The Inventor's Story, Untold. My name is Dave Washington, House of Ashman. I am 56 years old, a father of a teenage male child living in London, UK. After leaving the Royal Air Force in 1981, I was unsure of what to do with my life. In 1985, an idea came to me, a eureka moment, a heating system for the external areas of motor cars, to melt snow and ice without scraping it off. I filed a patent at the patent office, calling the idea Micro-Advanced Thermogenesis, Matte Black for short. I contacted numerous government agencies such as the DTI, Department of Trade and Industry, and numerous car companies. One of those companies, Rolls-Royce, invited me to their crew office to discuss the idea. I did not have the travelling expense to attend, and I kind of regret that very much now. Anyway, I continued with my life, struggling, and came up with numerous other ideas. One of those ideas was called Cube Ball X, a souvenir for ball sports. There is a website where it's illustrated. You'd have photographic images on the inside of a cube, which then opens up via the hinges to form a crucifix, a cross. So it's called Cube Ball X, and you'd have the equipment you used on the outside of the cube, and it would be a souvenir, memorabilia of numerous ball sporting events. With that project, I attended the Barbican, an inventors fair. I had my product on display. The organizer of the event asked if he could take my prototype, which was a homemade prototype, to the BBC for the following morning's breakfast show. I said yes. He took the prototype of Cube Ball X, and the following morning I was excited, looking forward to see my product on the BBC. Unfortunately, it wasn't shown. He came back to the show, the second day of the show, and said, it had broken and it couldn't be shown. So that was a big disappointment. I carried on with my life. Another idea came to me at that time, was a drinking water project, which was inspired by the Camelford poisoning with aluminium back in 1988 in the UK, Cornwall. The project I came up with was called H2O Innovative Centre, a drinking water project at that time to ship water from around the world, which is done, as you may know, in certain countries around the world right now. Tankers are shipping water around, and you've got canals, etc., shipping water from one region to another. But my idea was to name the water as being from a specific country, to then present it on a regular basis, stored and identified as being from different countries around the world. So you'd have Chinese, Russian, African in numerous forms, and the water would have that magnetic value, that energy, that mineral essence, and it would also bring harmony to the world in that this water came from, at the present time as I'm recording this, Muslim, Islamic, American, and it would just be the water. Instead of water in the form of human beings with guns and war, this would be just the essence, the water being from these countries, showing that we mean no harm. That was the project in 1989, which I presented in a business plan using imagery, photographs, different testing images, ICI, major companies like that. And I sent out the business plan to a number of major governments and political leaders, such as, President Gorbachev, Margaret Thatcher, President de Klerk, Princess Diana, President Rabin, Lord Carrington, John Smith. He was the Labour leader at the time. Shortly after I sent it, he died of a heart attack. Tony Blair, Bill Clinton, numerous Northern Ireland leaders, Mo Molan, Jerry Adams, Ian Paisley, the father. And you may recognize in 1989, 90, 91, there were a lot of major changes in the world. USSR collapsed, end of apartheid, Nelson Mandela was released, peace in Northern Ireland. That may be worth some value in monetary terms to the world. If it was calculated, it's been over 20 years. The Berlin Wall coming down, that may have sort of brought in a certain amount of billions. The end of violence and deaths in Northern Ireland, that could be priceless to some people in the sense that the world is at peace now. In the UK, end of apartheid in South Africa, in that sense, there were thousands dying, being murdered. That value is kind of priceless, but it may not have anything to do with my water project project, but at the time, nothing else seemed to be the cause of that change. But I continued with my creativity. A number of people around that time received Nobel Prizes. Nelson Mandela, de Klerk, numerous people received Nobel Peace Prizes for that. Northern Ireland, Jerry Adams, Ian Paisley, a lot of people. I wrote to John Hume as well. He's passed away. A lot of them have passed away. Since that time, I had noticed, and I would say this to people, but people would say, "Oh, you're being crazy. Why would anyone stop your mail? Why would anyone interfere with your correspondence? Why would anyone do that?" But it's not until Edward Snowden came out quite recently and showed the extent of the espionage and the interaction and the mails going missing and things like that, which I knew because I could feel it. I experienced it, either negative or no response I would get from people. It was nothing encouraging, except for one letter which I received from Margaret Thatcher just shortly before she was removed from office, claiming that she was going crazy or something like that, which she did send me a letter to say that keep up the good work and you should really go to one of these agencies. That was a handwritten letter from Margaret Thatcher. This is all truthful and I have no reason to lie. That letter has gone missing from my premises. I don't know where that letter is, but it did exist. Without any support, I continued what they call unemployed, but a creative unemployed in the sense of what this world seeks to do. This is the technique that fourth generation warfare, silent weapons, quiet wars, it's going on in my life. And as an inventor, I continued. I never gave up. I'm still not giving up, even though I'm recording this autobiography. Thanks to Seven, a lady who has a similar case of thievery, of theft of her copyright and her creativity, has inspired me to produce this autobiography video. And having the highest hopes and the highest dreams to make some contribution to this world, to make it a better place. But the leaders, as you know, Congress, corporations, they have a different agenda. However, I continued to survive and struggle. My mother died in 1998, not seeing my success, hearing my words and being frustrated, and I was being frustrated. She never got to see my son born, which I would have done earlier while she was alive if my ideas had been successful. But I felt at that time it was time to have a son, so I got married and had a son in 2001. I continued to be creative, sharing my ideas on 2 local radio stations, Galaxy 102 FM and Conscious Radio, currently 102 FM also. In 1998, I came up with another product idea called Perfect Dumplings. Organic root flour using crops from Caribbean, such as yams, sweet potato, dasheen, would be turned into flour and prepared in the format of dumplings, fried, boiled, basically, and they would be set in containers which would be put in your freezer. You would purchase from supermarkets around the world and reheat them according to your desire. In 2002, after reading a book by David Icke called The Biggest Secret, I was inspired to produce another invention about chakras. That product was I named Chakra Body Clock and cone clocks. Also, I produced, at the time there was an issue with the road rage, so I felt color therapy would benefit car drivers in the UK and around the world where they had tax discs. So I had another product called Healing Tax Disc Holder. They can be seen at www.chakraworld.net. For this project, I was able to complete the design and manufacture of these products. I tried to distribute to wholesalers and retail outlets. I sent samples to Harrods. Al Fayed was the chairman, the owner of Harrods. I sent to Selfridges, a few other major retail outlets, their purchase departments, without any success. I've sent it out to many people. I've given out free samples to many people. It's currently available on sale via eBay and Alibaba. Obama was first elected a few years ago now. I was working at Addison Lee, a large taxi transportation company. I designed a t-shirt concept. That design was called Multicolored White House. I designed a t-shirt, Multicolored White House. It had a design on the front of the White House with colored pillars, multicolored pillars around it to show the unity amongst people around the world. Flags of the world are of numerous colors, spectrum of colors, and I felt that would be an idea to show the unity of the world and to reduce the need for violence and try to bring some unifying ideas from the White House as a superpower. So I designed this t-shirt. I purchased a heat press and the ink sublimation system, and I produced the t-shirts from home. I even sent copies of the t-shirt to the White House. I received no reply from the White House. In 2010, I decided to restart the drinking water project. I produced my first homemade prototype of the SVD unit. My son saw me make this. He was very proud. I was very proud to have done this in front of him. I attended numerous business classes and produced a 50-page business proposal, business plan as they would say. It's 100 pages total. During that period, I entered numerous online competitions. Eco Imagination by General Electric, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bloomberg, the mayor of New York, came up with an idea, European cities, to have a competition environmentally beneficial to the people. It was via the mayor and the mayor of London. I attended one of their question times because one of his representatives said that they had their own idea already and submitting their own idea. So I went along to find out what their idea was, and I asked a question about this, why my idea had not been chosen, what was their idea. And the mayor of London at that meeting said, "Oh, your idea is the only idea we have, and we have no other idea, so your idea will go ahead." But I haven't heard up to date. I haven't heard any response. I contacted them a few times to find out, and they said, "Well, we're not interested in your idea, basically, or we have our own idea." So something like the bike scheme or some scheme like that, something like that. But anyway, that's one of the issues I had to contend with. There was a online website via the Dubai government, World Energy Forum. They were having a conference in Dubai, and they had a business ideas submission page. So on that page, I decided to present my idea, the water project idea, the revamped 50-page business plan, and I placed it on this page. As I'm on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, I was happy to see it up there, and I tweeted it, promoted it via this page. Shortly after, maybe a week later, it was removed. It was taken down from that site. In 2013, I decided to, being a creative person, a song came into my head. A song which I named Part the Red Sea, Lord, Let Us Go Free, like the people of Israel who wanted their freedom from Egypt, or so the story goes. I wrote this song, I had it produced a video, so it's on YouTube and Vimeo. It's called Part the Red Sea, Lord, Let Us Go Free. I also produced 100 CDs with artwork, which are still available. In November 2014, I produced my second gospel song video called One God, My God, Almighty God We Say, beautifully sung, and that is available on YouTube and Vimeo. I recently wrote an open letter to Congress, which is on my Facebook page, and also Open Letters, a feasible alternative to World War III. Yes, I am due billions in real money for my creative works. God knows best. Thank you so much for listening. I'll place images throughout this video for you to have reference, and thank you for listening.